Howdy, yokes! Before we get started today, we just wanted to let you know that this episode of Bacon and Eggs is brought to you by you. We want to build this thing to be as big as it can be. More episodes, merchandise, events, giveaways, you name it. But we can't do it alone. If you enjoyed this episode and want more Bacon and Eggs, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/baconandeggs and check out our new $5 tier, which grants you access to our show after the show, The Hash Browns. It's a bonus episode every week in which Ethan and myself answer all your questions. All of them. And we could really use your help to make this podcast the best it can possibly be, and we'd love for you to join us on our new Hash Brown adventure. So thank you for donating, and thank you even more for listening. Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're learning French.
Or maybe we're just trying to impress a girl.
So tame the shrew.
And flash someone to get out of detention.
Because today we're bringing you
10 things I hate about you.
So when we read this just now, I was like, oh my god, it rhymes. But it's because they're both the word you.
They're both the
also,
word you.
Dear high schoolers, flash nobody. Oh my gosh,
yeah, please,
we do not
God,
actively
do
encourage this.
Do not do that.
Oh my gosh. 10 Things I Hate About You, directed by Gil Junger.
I would guess Junger, yeah.
Junger on March 31st, 1999. Hey, that's 2 weeks after your sixth birthday.
Sixth birthday, yeah.
Yeah, we're all over Ethan's birthday this time of year.
It's almost like I was born in 1/12 of the year.
Yeah, almost. That was 7,503 days ago on a $16 million budget, which is notably $4 million more than The Fault in Our Stars. It made $53.5 million worldwide, got a 68% critic rating and a 69% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 70 on Metacritic. Thank you, Metacritic, for the closest to the correct answer. And that's all the information that I have.
I'll tell you what, though, this is not $4 million better than The Fault in Our Stars.
You're right, it's $100 million better.
It's negative $100 million. This is not better than The Fault in Our Stars. I don't know how to have this conversation with you right now. This was not a thing that I was prepared for at all. Why are you coming for my neck? I've been back for 4 minutes. Why are you coming for my neck like this?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So let me tell you something, Ethan.
No, Tyler. Let me tell you something. The Fault in Our Stars is a goddamn treasure.
So is this.
Yeah, this is great. This is cheesy.
No, this isn't cheesy either. So
what? I'm sorry. What, did you watch the same movie?
Okay. So none of them die. Okay. But it's so good. It's so good. Let's get to the binary review before we get to the professional reviews. I need to have this conversation now. Give me a binary score on 10 Things I Hate About You, Ethan.
Yeah,
Starts with a 1 and a 0. It's a hard one.
For sure. I literally had to watch this in school.
That's true. You are required to watch this movie.
Like, the Cave Spring High School decided this was required watching.
The Virginia Standards of Learning for AP English in what I would imagine.
Bro, I did not. Let me tell you who did not take AP English. His name begins with E and ends with Thanedchill.
Do you know why I didn't do AP English?
So I was told in ninth grade that I didn't see. Here's the case. In 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I did how much of my English homework? None of it. Let's count 0%. And so they were like,
absolutely none.
This kid must be stupid. He doesn't do his homework. He's not ready for AP English. You have to do homework in AP English. And you know what? I took dumb kid English for all 4 years of high school. And you know what? All of my peers that took AP English and pre-AP English read stupid books by people like Nathaniel Hawthorne. Guess what I didn't have to read? The Scarlet Letter. I read cool stuff.
Oh, I did not read The Scarlet Letter either. I did read Fahrenheit 431, Romeo and Juliet. I took pre-AP freshman year. So Romeo and Juliet, Old Man in the Sea.
I also read Romeo and Juliet.
Gatsby,
and
stuff
Gatsby.
like that.
We read Gatsby in Mathis's class.
But yes, we read Gatsby, Fahrenheit 451.
I don't know. I didn't read Fahrenheit 451. That was in 8th grade that you read that. And I was in dumb kid English in 8th grade.
We read The Crucible. We read Death of a Salesman. Which honestly,
class.
I think about The Crucible and Death of a Salesman. I know. I think about those movies every single day.
You think about the Daniel Day-Lewis The Crucible every single day?
I think about the book.
I was going to say, I don't think I've thought about the Winona Ryder Daniel Day-Lewis movie The Crucible at any point. I didn't even think about it while I was watching it. We were watching it, I was like, this is a non-movie.
Yeah, right, this isn't
More
real.
More
weight.
Great play. Very well done, Arthur Miller. Good job on that one. Death of a Salesman, not really as much of a hitter there, bud.
It's the same story, isn't it? Something about moving west and escaping tyranny and finding freedom. That's all we learned about.
Neither
in that
of those things were about moving west, finding freedom, or escaping tyranny.
That's what the American dream is.
I would
What is
not
Death of a
say,
Salesman even
okay,
about?
so Willie Loman doesn't find the American dream and does kill himself.
You know more about Death of a Salesman
Because
than
I did
remember.
the reading, Tyler.
Do you know who did?
No, you were in a group chat with me. I'm sorry.
No.
Yokes and Yokettes. I had a great time in Canada. I'm doing super great. I don't know why I'm screaming so much right now. I have no idea. I'm just hot about all these topics because Tyler, this morning, I wake up to like 140 freaking 9 text messages from Tyler and Mary Clay about who did the reading in high school. And guess who did the reading in high school? This guy. Tyler's like, I don't think anybody did the reading in high school.
I don't think anybody did the reading.
I did the
in
reading
high
because
school.
all the books that my
believe-
teachers made us read were cool.
Okay, Ethan, that's the truth about. I'm willing to bet if you, Ethan, the adult.
No, it's not true. No, it's not true. I promise you. The Heart of Darkness still sucks. The freaking the Scarlet Letter still sucks. Because I've read The Heart of Darkness, which everybody read in high school, and I read it after high school. So I was like, maybe I was missing something about this. That book sucks.
I've never even heard of The Heart of Darkness. That's 4 words that I did not know went together in the form of a book title. I just didn't. But I've read this. I read the Scarlet Letter. I read like the first quarter of it one day, like on a whim, because one of our patrons was reading it in high school, and I was like, I wonder if this is any good. And I read it like eyes to book, like with my eye holes, not with some crappy 95-year-old Audible narrator, because classic literature on Audible all sucks. Period. End of discussion.
That's not true at all.
So I read it with my. What are you talking about? Name one classic literature.
Wonderful Dickens narrations.
Oh, Dickens! I love.
Actually,
Dickens.
though, the best one is not on Audible. The best one is definitely Neil Gaiman reading Christmas Carol from the original Charles Dickens like prompt copy.
Anyway.
Go look that up. You can find it on the New York Public Library freaking podcast service. You can like subscribe to the New York Public Library podcast, and they post it once a year around Christmas, but it's totally applicable for Halloween too. It's a ghost story.
It's about ghosts. Oh, can we talk real quick about Night Before Christmas? I just want to give a binary review.
Is there a number? I know we're not supposed to break the binary scale, but is there like an equivalent number below 0? Okay. I don't think a 0 expresses my dislike for the Nightmare Before Christmas fandom. This is a case where like, and I try to let the movie stand for itself. I get it. That's the whole thing we talk about here. But like the Nightmare Before Christmas fandom does not let the movie stand by itself.
Can I tell you something about the fandom? I want to talk about cult culture real quick. Because I'm glad you brought that up. When I watched 10 Things I Hate About You yesterday, I said to myself, I could watch this movie every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. This is a movie I would have a cult-like following.
That's very interesting.
This is an excellent film. This is the kind of movie that if it was like, if my child decides this is the movie that gets stuck in the DVD player and we watch it all the time, I will be nothing but ecstatic. There are so many little quips and little jokes that come through, so many little attention to detail things that come through that I know that watching it yesterday, I was like, I'm only picking up on a quarter of this.
Sorry, I've got this awful cough that I picked up somewhere on tour, and it won't go away. I feel fine, but I just keep coughing a lot. I feel like there's just like a brick of mucus in my chest. It's gross.
Yeah,
it like hurts, but. Anyway, yeah, this one's great. Here's the thing about Shakespeare, because this is Shakespeare. This is why we're doing it again. You did She's the Man last week, which is Twelfth Night? Okay, and this is Taming the Shrew. 2 notorious Shakespeare comedies, as it were.
And nobody
dies. But yeah, that's the thing about Shakespeare is like the dude was a great story writer. All the plot points are just phenomenal, but it's written in like a completely unintelligible version of English at this point. So movies can go 2 ways with it. You can do things like you did with Romeo plus Juliet, where it's like, oh, we're gonna make it anachronistic. We're gonna set it during the cocaine days in Miami, but we're gonna use the pure unadulterated original script.
I do not remember enough about Romeo plus Juliet.
That was weird. And then you have things like, that just sort of vaguely resemble Shakespeare a little bit, like what you were saying about She's the Man. And I think this one is the perfect middle ground.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think what happened. I'll get back to it. She's the Man, I feel like screenwriter knew the story very well of Twelfth Night, but I wouldn't be surprised if when presented with the script, none of the actors were like told that this was an adaptation of Twelfth Night. Like, I don't feel like it was constantly talked about on set. I don't feel like it was brought up like, okay, before we do the table read for the movie, we're going to table read Twelfth Night and you're going to do the same characters. I don't think that happened. I think that they got a script and they were like, oh, this is cool. Illyria, that's a weird word. Like, and that was the end of it. I do think, and I don't know, I wasn't part of the writer's room or anything, but I think with 10 Things I Hate About You, watching the film, every scene has like a this is so Shakespearean moment.
all of the exact same beats. Like you can feel the script living in there, even if it's not, or you can feel the play living inside the script, even if it's not the same dialogue. And they use just enough of like the original dialogue pieces and like sort of Shakespearean English that it works. Where like occasionally somebody would say something totally out of character and people would just look at them like, don't say that in front of me. There's people can hear you.
Right. So I thought, I do think that's what happened there. Now, look, as long as we're talking about Shakespeare, where do you land on like West Side Story?
I mean, I don't think I'm like deeply familiar enough with West Side Story to really comment on its sort of relationship with Romeo and Juliet. I mean, I get it's like the story, but I don't know. West Side Story has never been a huge thing for me.
I've seen West Side Story live.
I've seen the music or the movie.
I've seen the movie. I like West Side Story.
It's definitely not. It's not bad. I don't know. I couldn't explain to you like why I've seen it or why I haven't really seen it, but it just wasn't something that ever really clicked with me.
I don't know the rest of the
I don't either. I know like the first two lines of the like Sharks and Jets song.
When you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day.
Yeah, and I get random pieces of like, because it's Leonard Bernstein, whatever. So I get little quips of that like his melodies stuck in my head every now and then. Where I'll just be walking down the street like do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. I mean, it's a quintessential piece of American musical.
I feel like we should, if we're going to stick with this Shakespeare thing, it's only a matter of time.
But this is not something I ever really dived into.
No, I downloaded the audiobook Taming of the Shrew. There's a few different like cast recordings of it. It's very hard to listen to without seeing like actors in costumes. Sure.
It's just because it's just not really English.
It's not really English. You can sort of pick it. It's like watching a movie in Spanish without subtitles. You probably don't have this experience. It's like watching a movie in French without subtitles. It's like, okay, I kind of know that language, but I definitely don't. But because of the inflection and the acting, I can sort of tell what's going on. Is what
it's also
like
not quite like opera, where it doesn't matter if you know the language.
Right? Yeah. No, I've seen operas in completely different languages and walked out and been like, I know exactly what happened.
Shakespeare stories are big and complicated.
Right, and they're challenging. I think what the problem for high schoolers with Shakespeare is that they read it with absolutely no inflection whatsoever. Right, so let me just find. Oh my gosh, there's so many freaking things.
They say it like they're daunted. We want them to say it again like they're undaunted.
What does that mean? Like this is a high schooler round-robining Romeo and Juliet. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. It's hard. He writes so well. It's hard to just read it as like in a monotone voice. But high school, I know, at least in my high school, it was like, if you read this with any sort of emotion at all, then you're such a nerd. Do not talk to me.
Right, for sure. And thus you have Dead Poet Society, where my quote just came from.
That was, is that where it came from?
It's when one of them's reading the thing from Leaves of Grass, the like, to struggle against great odds, to meet enemies undaunted. And Ron Williams, it's like, you sound like you're daunted. Say it again like you're undaunted.
Gosh, this Billy Shakes guy, he can write a freaking
Do you remember, did you have this experience where you read Romeo and Juliet in high school, and whoever your teacher was like, okay, now listen, class, wherefore in this sentence means why? And everybody in class is like, yeah, okay, cool. No, but like, you guys don't understand. She's asking why he has to be from this family when his family's warring against her family. Everybody's like, yep, okay. No, guys, it means why, not where.
Yeah, she's not asking, are you outside the window? She is asking... Why must you be named Romeo? What is it, Capulet or Montague? Which one?
Montague, I believe.
Oh,
that's why I sighed, because I'm not sure.
Romeo is a Montague, and Juliet the Capulet. Juliet Capulet.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't positive.
Juliet Capulet. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Romeo Montague. Yeah.
Do you want this in pentameter or not? Get the hell out of my class.
God, I could just read Shakespeare sonnets all the whole show. Well, the whole show. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-browed knight. Give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night.
Also, reading part of a monologue from a Shakespeare play is not the equivalent of reading a sonnet.
That's correct. You're right.
Just so you know.
Just so I know. I appreciate your blunt honesty. I do know we had to memorize one of these in high school, and the way that I got away with any any sort of like memorize this or do this presentation is I would just get like exactly opposite of what I said before. Anytime I had to go up and do a presentation, I would just get super in character for whatever the presentation was. Did you do this?
No,
Probably
memorizing
not.
stuff has never really been a problem for me.
No? I mean, I would memorize
just sort of,
it.
like, everybody's like, how do you memorize stuff? And I'm like, I just do it.
I just read it, and then there it is for the rest of forever.
Not the rest of forever, but like I couldn't just rip off a Shakespeare monologue right now.
Do you have a favorite Shakespearean play, or do you feel like me personally, I could not
I haven't read
tell
enough
you.
Shakespeare. No, I didn't just sit around reading Shakespeare ever.
Yes, I also did not.
But I was
just sit
also
around
not like
reading Shakespeare
involved in the theater.
I think that's one of my big regrets of high school. I know one time I went to like a theater meeting and I was like, I'm going to do this. This year I'm going to do this. And I think you went with me, if I'm not mistaken.
They were supposed to do Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to be in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. We're going to have like speaking parts. That's got a lot of male characters. It's not just the two guys that are every speaking part in these shows. We're really going to do something here. And truthfully, I believe that had we actually auditioned for a play in high school, we probably would have gotten pretty
Well, we only ever did musicals.
Parts.
Yes, the problem. And neither you or I knew how to sing then.
I think, listen, I don't think anybody knew how to sing. I also think that I was under the impression that I was going to need to know how to sing in like a choral sense, where I think that if I just went up there and talked sort of like, sort of nasally,
Andrew
sort
George
of Broadway.
did as the dad in Bye Bye Birdie.
It's exactly what Andrew George did as the dad in Bye Bye Birdie.
I played drums for that show.
That's not an easy show. That was like the original Broadway book.
Yeah, against all odds, I somehow played drums in that show. We went to school with like 5 world-class drummers.
Yeah, and none of them would do it. Yeah, they were. If DCI means anything to you, one of the guys we went to high school with was center snare at Carolina Crown in high school.
Center snare.
No. Either way, he was on the snare line at Carolina Crown
high school
when they won. If I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea if he was when they won, but
right?
we were well into college by that point. Yeah, it was like 2014.
When was 1930? When was that show?
That was the Blue Devils, and that was 2009.
Oh man, see, I just don't care.
That was when
DCI.
That was when Crown got second place. That was their best position ever. To the point they did The Grass Is Always Greener.
He was on that line, wasn't he? No, we would have been young.
It was 2009. Yeah, his first year he was on Glassman. His first year was on Crown was 2010. This is the kind of shirt that I just know off the top of my head. What years Ollie Delato did which DCI core?
It's crazy. I never liked DCI. I liked Marching Man, and I think there's some, I won't say I never liked DCI because there are some really wonderful shows. But once we got into college and I met people that did it, that were like in my section, I was like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. You take this way too seriously. And I thought I took this seriously, and you've taken it to a whole other level.
1930 was a great show. They deserved to win that year.
1930 was a great show.
Crown won in 2014, I think, for with Fanfare or For the Common Good is what it was called. It was based around Fanfare for the Common Man, and it was sick. When was the
Angels and Demons show where they threw the baritone across the field? And that was
Cadets.
No, that was not. I thought
Crown.
That was Crusaders. No, I know it was
Cadets.
Crown.
It was 100% Cadets because they had the red and the white uniforms.
I know. What is it? Steven did
Crusaders, and they did not win.
Well, clearly,
Between Angels and Demons won, like big one,
because it was awesome. Yeah. Is that a Buzz Lightyear in your bedroom? Buzz. Can I tell you something? Woody's the villain. There was a Super Brothers video a while back.
No, not getting into this. Not opening this can of worms. Nope, not doing it. 0% chance. Nope, we're not talking about this. I'm just going to keep talking until you move on. No, we're not talking about this. Nope, we're not doing it. I don't want to talk about the villains in Toy Story. I don't want to hear your opinions on Woody. Don't care.
But I
don't care. I don't want to open this can of worms.
Okay, I'm going to read what his pull string says.
I don't care what his pull string... We're not talking about Toy Story. We did 4 episodes on Toy Story.
1, reach for the sky. Who's he shooting? 2, there's a snake in my boot. Who's wearing his boot?
I'm going to hang this call up.
He's the snake. No, you're not.
Then shut up.
You're my favorite deputy. It implies that the person he's talking to is second in command, meaning that he's first in command, can't give up leadership. Buzz.
Oh, they didn't win for Common Good. That was 2012. They won in 2013 with E equals MC squared.
Ooh, physics. Well, you were relatively close.
2013 they won.
Can I tell you a secret about DCI, Ethan? It doesn't matter.
It's so cool.
It is still
You've had this
cool.
weird relationship with DCI always where like you loved it and then somebody pissed you off and then you hate it and now anybody who likes it is not cool anymore.
I didn't like how they would call themselves Marching Band's Professional League, and then the participants would have to pay thousands of dollars to be a part of it. That to me seemed like
they wanted to do it, okay?
Way.
They wanted to do it.
But then they're not professionals. They're still like, it's still a rec league. You still have to buy in.
Okay, bud.
I don't know.
You're just worrying too much about it.
I don't know.
Okay.
How did he know someone poisoned the water hole unless he did it?
So you stirred up some controversy with your post about this movie that we were doing. Where you cropped out Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
You know what's funny is I did not mean to crop out Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I just Googled 10 things I hate about you, hit the HD photos button, and that was the literal first result.
You know, some JGL fans got upset.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, can I tell you something about the movie? I don't care about any story that is not Heath Ledger and I don't know, Meg Ryan. What's her name? Julia Stiles. I was thinking late 90s.
Look, Heath Ledger had
That's
enough problems passing for a high schooler in this movie. Meg Ryan could not have passed for a high schooler. Meg Ryan was doing like, oh my God, I'm 31 and I don't have a husband movies in 1999.
In 1999?
Earlier than that. When did You Got Mail come out? You've Got
Mail. Right. Oh, okay. So she would have been 38 in 1999.
Yeah. You've Got Mail was 1998. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I'm at the end of my ropes and I got to meet Tom Hanks so I can have a kid before I die. Meg Ryan.
30-something.
What the heck?
It's just the name. Julia Stiles. Isn't that also the name of that chef? Julia
That's
Stiles.
Julia Child.
Julia Child.
Took me a second. I was thinking like, next Food Network star.
This has been like a thorn in my side this whole time that I was like, nobody's going to talk about her. She's the same name as that one lady.
She doesn't. Yeah, they did Julia and Julia.
That's
with,
exactly why.
Freaking Amy Adams and Meryl Streep, potentially?
I think so.
Either Meryl Streep or Helen Mirren. I get them confused constantly. Oh, my mom's yelling from the other room, and it's Meryl Streep.
Julia Stiles, this is some fun information about her. She's been acting since 1993, graduated from Columbia University. Julia,
good for her.
Yeah, she got her degree in, where's Columbia? Is that on the East Coast? Then yes, it is. Glad to be cleared.
Was that ever in doubt?
Well, in the movie, she wants to go to an East Coast university.
It's where Peter goes in Spider-Man 2. I know I am.
You're
the Sam Raimi Spider-Man fan.
Oh, come on. The college he attended in Spider-Man 2.
How do you not know Columbia's in New York City?
I don't know. I can never keep up with Northeast colleges. All I know is that Harvard is somewhere outside of Boston.
So is everything.
Right. Except maybe the Boston Conservatory and the Berklee College of Music, which is straight up inside
I don't
Boston.
know. I think I've seen like 2 Julia Stiles movies.
I've seen 2 recently. I saw Hustlers, and I've seen 10 Things I Hate About You.
Julia Stiles is in Hustlers? I thought she was dead.
She's
38 now, the same age that Meg Ryan was when she made You've Got Mail.
Julia Stiles plays the reporter in Hustlers.
I've seen this, and I've seen Save the Last Dance, which I think is her.
Save the Last
2001.
Dance. It is her. You've never seen Jason Bourne?
Like Jeremy Renner? No.
Is it
the new one?
Damon.
The new one.
2016.
Yeah, okay, the one that Matt Damon came back for. No, I have not.
She's in all of the Bourne movies. And
Silver
Linings Playbook.
Silver Linings Playbook. As who?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, like, obviously.
I can, honestly, based on some of these pictures, I could kind of understand you thinking that, but that's Jennifer Lawrence. She was in the Hunger Games.
She plays Tiffany's sister. She would have made Julia Stiles would have made a great Katniss Everdeen in 1999.
She plays Jennifer Lawrence's sister. That's wild. Because she was in Save the Last Dance about a big dance.
You want to talk about a movie that I flap and love?
It's a great movie. Have we covered
Silver
that?
Linings Playbook. No, but that's an Oscar winner there.
It won Oscars.
Quite literally.
that already happened. Like, they voted on that
I know.
5 years ago.
I know. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Film Editing, Best Actor.
I didn't know that.
No. I'm sorry. Nominated for 8. I was like, dang, this destroyed. Rami Malek as...
Stop making that noise forever.
As Rami Malek as...
I have no idea.
What year was Silver Linings Playbook? 2012?
Turns
Good
out, I would have said 2013, but it is 2012.
Did you know that the Academy Awards peaked in, I think, 2016 or 2015 in terms of viewership?
Well, people have been pretty pissed off at the Oscars for the past couple years.
Yeah, it has gone down.
No, I did not know that. I don't really keep up with the Nielsen ratings of the Oscars. Is there like an award show for best award show?
But I lied. I lied. It was the 1998 Oscars. 57 million people watched. And in 1998, what won Best Picture? Titanic. Very good. Very proud.
Nailed
of
that
you.
piece
This
of
is a
trivia.
pretty freaking. Yeah, this is a good Best Picture nominees in 1998. As Good as It Gets, The Full Monty, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, and Titanic.
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty
best movie
good.
didn't win it though.
What do you think is Good Will Hunting?
100%.
We're
I would
gonna
bring
We're gonna get a message from Julia.
I would bring Good Will Hunting to a desert island way before I brought Titanic. Even though Titanic is almost twice as long.
Titanic is long.
It's a big criteria for desert island movie.
Yes. I need something long.
Right, because like Toy Story, great movie. But like in the time I watched Titanic twice, I could watch Toy Story like 6 times.
Oh my God, Toy Story is so short. Yeah, I don't think it's the shortest movie we've done on Bacon and Eggs. I believe the shortest movie we've done is Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo
Do you remember
Strikes
that thing
Back?
that went around for a while that was like, you have to watch one movie for 24 hours straight, and if you do, you get $1 million. Can you do it? And what movie? I was like, any of them. It's $1 million.
For $1 million,
I can watch anything for 24 hours.
Yeah, I can sit still for 24 hours. I think I'm fine.
And obviously I probably wouldn't pick Toy Story. I would want something a little bit longer to get the fewest iterations.
I think it's a balancing act between the fewest iterations, but also what am I going to enjoy?
But like, I love Toy Story to death, but by the time that like I'm hour 22 and it gets back to like like just shoot me.
I wouldn't watch Just Shoot Me, the TV show, for 24 hours.
For $100 right now, have you ever seen an episode of Just Shoot Me? Who's in that show?
Yeah, David Spade.
Okay,
David Spade.
$100.
You know what else he says? This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Who's Woody killing?
Is your audio peaking? Like severely?
It may have.
Okay, because it's coming through really crappy on the Skype. I'm just making sure.
I'm gonna lower my recording volume just a
skosh,
a smidge, just a scoosh, a scovel. You know what I think about all the time is that Idris Elba eating hot wings video.
Great.
That's my favorite. I think about it. I think I'm a dad because that meme is like expired, but I think it's absolutely hilarious.
So, in this movie, you've got some.
What the fuck?
This movie that came out in 1998, you got some people that really went on to do something. You know, you got like Jordan. I keep trying to say Jordan Joseph-Levitt.
Joseph-Levitt, yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You know, he was in The Dark Knight Rises. He's been in a bunch of good stuff. He was in Looper, I think.
Maybe Looper's a mystery.
I've never seen that movie.
He also did that one movie where he's done a few movies that I'm not crazy
and then Heath Ledger was obviously in The Dark Knight Regular and a bunch of other good stuff. And then you got
The Dark Knight Regular.
You got the girl that plays Bianca, who has done nothing.
Oh, the sister.
Bianca.
Yes. Sorry, I was thinking of Gabrielle Union, the friend.
No.
And I was like,
Larissa Olenek, Alex Mack.
So she's been in nothing else.
I just know that I know that she was Alex Mack on The Secret Life of Alex Mack, Secret World of Alex Mack on Nickelodeon in the mid '90s, and then she did this movie, and I have not seen her since then.
Fun fact: not much stuff.
She's known for The Babysitter's Club, Third Rock from the Sun, Alex Mack, and this movie.
A few direct to videos. Nothing. Oh, she was in OJ the musical.
And you know why? You know why she hasn't done anything else? Because she's bad at acting.
Yeah, she wasn't good in this.
This could have been her breakout role, but she was bad at it.
What gets me is that Julia Stiles didn't do much after this.
They hired Julia Stiles to do that. That's her whole thing. That just like...
It's so... She nails the like bitchy late 90s feminist. I say as though I was like consciously aware of feminism in the late 90s.
She's the epitome of just like scoff. She plays the same character in every movie she's in.
Did you notice Susan May Pratt's character... Julia Stiles, like the best friend that's obsessed with Shakespeare.
That showed up halfway through the movie.
Just out of nowhere. Oh, this is a character.
Yeah, I felt like there was a scene missing.
Yeah, I was like, what? Who the heck are you? I also feel like there's a lot of scenes missing. I feel like the development between Kat and Verona, like it happens off screen. Like all of a sudden they're into each other and he's willing to make these giant romantic gestures for this girl that are completely unwarranted and she totally does not deserve.
Part of it was that he found out he figured out that like he was into her for real. And the other part is like, you know, it's the typical like, oh, men's gotta be men thing where, what was the name? Joey, the Biff, the bad guy was just oh, I bet you couldn't even get her if you tried, bro. And he was like, all right, got you beat. Let's get it.
What is that accent? Is that what he talked like?
He said, I lived in Australia for 10 years.
Yeah, I was like, no, you didn't.
Apparently his character did. Maybe that's what Heath Ledger talks like, or did at this point. He wasn't really like an actor at this point.
No? Was this early stage
ledge? Yeah. So it's entirely possible that he showed up and they were just like, oh, I guess he talks like that. We don't really have time to fix this.
Work
we
with
shot
that
this
one.
movie in 8 days.
It does seem like it was shot quick. It watches really fast.
Because it's
I'll
like
tell you, it does
an
not
hour
have a
and
pacing
30
problem.
minutes long.
No, it's hour
It's
37.
No, yeah, and
is it?
it's a solid 7 minutes of like credit bloopers.
It is a solid 7 minutes credit bloopers. There's no doubt about that. Oh, you're right. 137. My
Heath
mistake.
Ledger, born April 4th, 1979 in Perth, Western Australia.
Who knew?
Not me.
You. Well, you know
Because
now.
like it's probably, but like a lot of the other things I've seen him in, he speaks in like a British accent, except the Joker, and he speaks in the Joker voice.
Introduce a little chaos. God, he was good. We did not deserve Heath Ledger. He outacts the whole freaking
for sure.
movie. Like he's on screen and nobody else belongs at all. I'll tell you, the way that attractive women looked in the late 90s is different than how they look now. They were all so super like pencil thin.
Yeah.
That was like the goal.
They dressed
look,
like idiots.
which I just.
More so than
Yes, they
everybody
dressed
else.
absolutely
They
terrible.
dressed like idiots.
I think, it's so weird to me because I was alive and conscious of like the Earth spinning in 1999, but I was also
But like Joseph
6,
Gordon-Levitt's look,
right?
his I'm gonna wear a huge polo shirt.
We're pulling way too big.
It's all collar. It's like you wear that now, and it's like, ah, man, look at you. You wear the outfits the popular girls wore in the 90s, and people are like, what are you doing, bud?
What's weird to me is I had I think one of my favorite characters. Sorry, I'm going through the photos of the movie. Sometimes that helps me jog what's going on. One of my favorite characters in the movie is like the president of the Future MBA Society Club. And he's like, all right, boys, you got to remember, grip it and rip it. Like, go off with the kid down on the football
Bogey
field. Got the
Lowenstein.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude from the hit TV show Numbers is like the guy that's showing Cameron around and like becomes his friend, sort of.
Yeah,
David
like,
Krumholtz.
is that who
he's
that
like
is?
a TV show actor. He was a voice in
I would
Sausage
love to
Party.
be. That movie
I haven't
was
seen
bad.
it.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm under the impression
Yeah, the
that
premise
it was
is
bad.
reprehensible.
The premise is that I don't.
Oh, he had
like
an
it, right?
uncredited part as Sydney's buddy number 3 in I Love You, Man.
Hey, that's pretty good. This dude was in 10 Things I Hate About You, and then like 12 years later, his agent was like, I've got a part you can't believe.
He was Goldstein in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
I did not like those movies. I watched them.
He was in Superbad. He was in
Goldstein.
Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny as Frat Boy 2 uncredited. He
I think
looks
we were
like
all
it
in
looks like
Tenacious D, The
okay,
Pick
so
of
like
Destiny.
just based on, and I'm not trying to throw out any kind of shade, but it seems like when you're looking for like generic Jewish looking guy in your movie, you call this guy, because if you look through his IMDb credits, that's 100% what this guy does. He plays some dude named like Goldstein in like 8 movies.
All right,
Just
boys.
bad, just bad looks, guys. Bad looks.
I mean, at least he's got consistent
the Santa
work.
Claus
You know what
too?
I love was I love the B-roll in this movie. I love when I'm just gonna go through a few different shots here. When the kid has the tray from the lunch and he's just drawing a naked lady on it. Like a director had to be like, okay, here's what you're gonna do to start this scene. And he was like, do what? And he was like, just do this. And then the scene where he drills through the French book, and then later in the movie he's got the French book with the hole in it.
Good continuity there.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. Paintballs, like water balloons filled with paint.
Apparently,
is that real?
I tend to doubt it though. Like paintball means something totally different now. That was a great montage scene though. The whole they actually fall in love for real thing.
Yeah, they have like a reason to care
Thank you for
about
busting
each
me out
other.
of detention. Don't know what it would have done in there.
Can't believe you
Yeah,
flashed
don't ever
the
do
teacher.
that, kids. Not
Don't
worth.
ever do
100%
that.
not worth.
Yeah, you will not get somebody out of detention like that. It will not go that smoothly.
You get detention at that point, like super detention called like suspension.
You get double detention. You know what I loved about this movie was that it's set in Seattle. Not a single scene is raining. When did Seattle get that?
The only thing that matters about it being in Washington is that it totally tracks that the teacher is like, I need to confiscate this weed and these Cheetos. I was like, oh yeah, Washington, right?
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest.
Dude, grunge, man. Nirvana.
So next time we go to Seattle, I'm going to send you a photo of what we're doing.
I don't have plans to be
We're
back
gonna
in
go-
Seattle at any time soon. Well, they killed
We'll see.
PodCon, so...
Yeah, well, everybody hits their stride.
What?
We're going to this thing. What is
I
it?
don't know, but Skype just made a gross noise in my ear. Horrifying is what that is. It's
going to
absolutely terrible. What Tyler sent me is like a giant sand person rising out of the ground and crushing a Volkswagen.
It's from
this
the movie. From this movie. That's a still from this
I guess
movie. That's Joseph
not paying attention
Gordon-Levitt
at that point.
Oh, man,
I was during a lot of this movie. I was playing Mario Kart Tour on my phone.
What do you think of Mario Kart Tour?
I'm way better at Mario Kart Tour than I actually am at actual Mario Kart.
I'm very good at regular Mario Kart.
Way better. I am. There's like a 2% chance I lose any race.
Are you? Do you believe that you're really racing real people?
But I don't race other people when I'm playing regular Mario Kart either, unless I'm with my friends and they all beat my ass at it.
Yeah,
when I play actual Mario Kart, I just get my butt whooped by my own Nintendo Switch. I cannot express to you how much I did not have a Nintendo growing up. Therefore, I'm not good at Smash or Mario Kart.
You don't have the beats.
I don't have the years of inherent training the way I do with like Madden.
What do you think of Dad?
I mean, he's like 90s movie dad. Like, I can't trust any man. They're all good at Fortnite. My daughter.
That's exactly. You can date when
he's just horrifying, dude. He's just horrifying. He's such a patriarchal stereotype, and it's like, oh, they're straight up about it. They're like, you're projecting on us because your wife left you.
Yes, they are straight up about it. It is also the adaptation of the Shakespearean version of the same character.
I'm sure. But in Shakespeare's original English, I sincerely doubt that character uttered the phrase "up to my elbows in placenta."
Let's see if the word placenta is in Taming of the Shrew. I bet the wet word
wasn't invented until after Shakespeare.
I googled Taming of the Shrew placenta, and
but you know why he said elbows, bud? Because William Shakespeare invented Fortnite word.
That's true. Is that where it came
they did this
from?
Throughout the whole movie. Where they're like, there'd be a character that's like, it's like, and then somebody would fill in with like a Shakespeare word.
I know. I thought it was so funny.
What's another word for engorged? And she walks in like tumescent. I was like, this is clever. I see what you're doing here.
This is a silly thing that you did. Hold on. I'm looking at. I've got this Google Doc here. Nope. I don't know what show this is.
Yeah, I'm still going to go ahead and put a hard doubt on the word placenta appearing in the original script of Twelfth Night.
As far as I know,
but it's just like the dad's just such a ridiculous caricature of everything.
He's like a gynecologist, right? So
he knows the ins and outs. He knows what happens when women have sex. Am I right, boys?
He became like a gynecologist because, God, I'm so sorry to the parents who are listening to this and their kids were like, oh, I love this podcast. You're going to love this podcast. It's so good.
We're talking topically about the movie.
We are. We usually don't do that. Hello, parents in the car with your kid who loves this podcast. Thank you. We love you.
We just said placenta a lot.
We did say placenta a lot. Dear child, babies come from the stork. Straight up. You write a letter.
Tyler,
from your
shut
bed.
Up.
Okay.
We're not. We're like a family-friendly podcast. We're not like a caters to kids podcast.
This week's episode is brought to you by Barbie.
Hey, Mattel, if you out there, I will take a Barbie sponsorship.
Use code BACON at checkout for 100% close off your Barbie because that's all that's going to happen when you buy it anyway. It's called accessorizing, and it's in the movie.
Anywho,
if you could, so he becomes like a gynecologist, like a delivery doctor, because he believes like he can make a difference. He can make sure that women have less babies. Is that what he understands? Like, he doesn't do it because he thinks the miracle of birth is like beautiful. He does it because he thinks it's horrifying.
I think that he was a gynecologist who then had kids.
You think so? And was like,
I think so. And then when he was like, man, these girls are my daughter's age. They could be having sex. Am I right, boys? If you have sex, you will get pregnant and die. 2004.
Mean Girls. Is that the new challenge to the game?
It's always been the challenge to the game.
Do you think Julia Stiles looks like our host on talking about Miracle?
I don't know. Sometimes because she says it about herself a lot. And sometimes I'm like, I see that. And other times I'm like, I don't see that.
Who are you?
What do you even have?
She has 2 chapters left in the Fellowship
She's going
of the
way
Ring.
too fast with that. I need her to start cutting these into episodes into like half the chapters.
I didn't realize how few chapters there were going to be.
Yeah.
I was ready for 100 episodes.
I was talking
in
like
the Fellowship
5
of the
years
Ring.
of this podcast, man.
When did she start? Because we're coming up on needing to do something. Mary Clay, you're the best. Dear listener, if you don't listen to That's What I'm Talking About, you're making a mistake.
I can tell you right now because the it just says this week. Darn it. It's whenever we did Ocean's 11 the week after. Maybe. I don't know. No, more than that. I have no idea. Hang on. Podbean.com. When did I read?
Oh, yeah, we should log in.
When did I register this account? Is the real question. Oh, man, I thought they got rid of the creepy elf lady for a second. They did not. Dang. Yeah, she's only has 16 episodes, one of which is the intro episode.
Yeah, we're going to need to slow
this
it
down,
down.
Mary Clay. It's been since July 9th.
Mostly because I want to work with you forever, and you're going to run out of Tolkien to talk about. Not that I think that's possible. Good golly. I think there's enough
then we'll
Tolkien to
change
go
to
for
like, that's
ages.
what I'm Hunger Gamesing about.
Right.
Anyway.
I have to sneeze. What'd you have for dinner tonight, Ethan? Because Emily's out of town, and I'll tell you what I had for dinner. Despite the fact that I'm the one that cooks the meals in our house, Emily being out of town means I have no idea how to work a kitchen. And as a result, for breakfast, I had ramen noodles, and then for lunch, I had a freaking Baconator hold the mayo on the bun, give me all the mayo. And then for dinner, I came home, had like 3 slices of giant Rice Krispie treat. I made an entire pot of mac and cheese with sriracha, and I had some pasta salad while the water was
I had
boiling.
a Tonto from McAdoo's at 3 p.m. and am thus forth only now becoming hungry again.
And I've got a cold. I was sitting there at work today after eating the Baconator because I had ramen for breakfast and a Baconator for lunch, and I got really nauseous all of a sudden. And I was like, I wonder why I'm sick.
I've been eating garbage all day.
You ever do that though, where you eat like literal garbage for like a week straight, and then you're like,
Yeah.
man, my
Bro,
head's
I just
heavy.
went on tour.
Right?
Yeah, I've done that.
Why does my back hurt?
Why does my everything hurt? Oh, because I've been eating literal garbage.
There are rats who eat better than me.
I've been eating nothing but gas station food for 3 days.
Oh,
Not even
man.
sheets. They
Why?
don't have sheets in Canada.
They have Tim
Oh my God, they
Hortons.
do have Tim Hortons. I miss it already.
You're so
No,
Canadian.
Tim
If
Hortons.
you love Canada
Dude,
so much.
straight up. I was one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, roll up the rim. I bet the Tim Hortons is really good up here. Hey, maple syrup. And then I got to Tim Hortons and I tried a caramel iced cap, which is essentially Tim Hortons' version of a just straight caramel frappuccino. And it was the best frozen coffee beverage I've ever had in my life.
You had the coffee martinis at Foxtail.
Yeah, this was better than that. This was straight
I
up
don't
better
believe
than
you.
that. But what I was
I
trying to
feel
say
like
was
my
frozen
problem with
coffee
Tim
beverage.
Hortons-
Because like nothing beats a good latte.
I'll tell you, Ethan. I've been thinking about it. Nothing beats a good latte.
I'll tell you.
I feel like that's an original thought I just had that I want to say. That's my idea. And nothing beats a good latte. The only one of his sayings that makes any sense, he goes, yeehaw, giddy up,
oh my
partner.
God,
We've got to get
stop
this wagon train
dropping
of
the Woodyisms into this Fortnite episode.
We got to get this wagon train a moving. But who broke the wagon? He's the only one there, Ethan. Who could have broke the wagon? He killed the ox. What is the villain?
I do. I have a toothpaste and orange juice about Canada, though. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you this. People love to talk about America for loving America, man. They're like, oh, you guys put your flag on everything. Yeah, America. Nobody. I
Follow
repeat,
me on Twitter at America.
nobody on the planet loves their country more than Canadians. How many, on average, during the year, how many American flags would you say are just like displayed in your home?
In
like,
my home?
Not on stuff, like just flags.
In my home, like inside the house?
your house.
I think we have maybe
Because I did not go into a Canadian domicile with less than a dozen Canadian flags just like hanging from the wall. They got Canadian flag pot holders, man. Everything. Their colors are red, white, and plaid. It's everywhere. Dude, Canadians love Canada so much. The whole country's a theme park, man. Their money is made of plastic. It looks like Monopoly money. It's 5 different colors, and when you scratch it, it smells like maple syrup.
I'm so confused where the issue is here.
that people talk about America. No, Canada's awesome, dude. It was the coolest place ever. It's like, I immediately was like, oh man, it's like America, but they've got something figured out better. I went to Subway and it was good.
Oh,
No,
don't lie,
I had a
Ethan.
Subway sandwich. I got a chicken bacon ranch melt from Subway, and I was like, this tastes like food.
Can I tell you the truth about a chicken bacon ranch melt? Just real quick. I don't think that's a good flavor combination. I think you fooled somebody to being like, okay, I like chicken.
Well,
I
in
like
Canada,
bacon.
it's a good
I like
flavor
ranch.
combination. In Canada, it tastes dope.
They put some maple syrup on
poutine
top.
on every street. You know what poutine is? It's delicious. It's French fries, cheese curds, and gravy.
I did know that. Yeah, I know
I'm
what poutine
just
is.
saying it for all of our listeners who might not know. But
I do think
nobody loves
poutine- that
Canada more
seems
than
like
Canadians
something-
love Canada. Nobody loves themselves more than Canadians
know who
love
should-
Canada. Anyway, also everybody in Quebec
You know who
sucks.
should serve
That's
poutine?
true. Sorry if you're a
Quebec?
listener from Quebec. Your cities are kind of mean.
They're the French ones, right?
Yeah, that was the most foreign city I've ever been in. Because like in London, we went to London. It's like, oh cool, I'm across the pond, but all the signs are still in English. And when I went to the Dominican Republic, I was like on a resort and everybody spoke English. In Quebec, nobody speaks English. You can't read anything.
It's all
Like
French.
the
All
street
French all the
signs
time.
are in French.
I've heard that. So I have where I work, I occasionally speak with Quebecians, Quebecians, if you will. They know English, and then they will slip into French like it's nothing you've ever heard.
Right, because
before.
they all learned English in high school as a second language, and then as soon as you're an American that talks to them, they magically forget it.
Right, and then I was
but like Canadians, for the most part, Canadians look like Americans, but people from Quebec don't. They look different. They look French. It's crazy. It's like I had to get an Uber, and the Uber driver had to call me to figure out where I was. And this dude, I pick up the phone, this dude starts rambling off in French. I'm like, you can see what language I speak in my Uber profile. And I was like, pardon, no français.
Why were you in Quebec anyway? I took a pill in Quebec.
This is not what that place is called. Also, Avicii's dead, and I cannot prove to him that I am cool.
Oh, I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah, that's the next line.
The rest of the line.
Took a pill in Ibiza. Show Avicii I was cool.
Yeah, poor Mike Posner. If you've heard the unradio
it's just a really
that
sad
song,
acoustic song about how he wishes he still had a career.
And how he wishes he wasn't, like, how drugs are not cool. And then he posts this, like, just drug anthem, Sieb
Well, to be
remix.
fair, Sieb posted that.
Well,
and then he had a
that's
career
true,
again. He'd, like, put a new album out. And then he got bit by a rattlesnake. You don't keep up with Mike Posner much, do you? Mike Posner almost died in the middle of the desert in Arizona because he got bit by a rattlesnake while he's Forrest Gumping it across the country.
Like running
he was
across
like running
the country?
across the whole country. That dude has had some kind of spiritual awakening of the level that none of us will ever understand. That guy got
he has
famous,
long hair.
made $1 million, spent it on girls and shoes, got unfamous, had his song pop off again. And he's like, I'm not gonna Fortnite it up this time, guys. Get it?
I did know this. He had to learn to walk again, and he like Stephen Potts his hair. It's like
he's
super
in the
long.
process
He's
of
got a
learning to walk
beard.
again because the whole bottom half of his body was paralyzed.
Insane.
Yeah, got bit by a rattlesnake and almost died. Yeah,
What?
I saw like it got retweeted on my timeline. It's not like I just keep up with Mike Posner off the tome, but I got retweeted on my timeline. Just like so thankful to be alive after this rattlesnake, and I was like, that's the most wild sentence I've ever heard. Mike Posner.
From Mike freaking Posner.
I did know this about Mike Posner. Mike Posner went to Duke on a full academic scholarship and then became a musician.
Oh man, you know it makes me so mad
when people think that Jason Derulo is a bad singer because he used autotune in 2009.
Same with T-Pain. He won the Masked Singer without autotune.
Because turns out to sing like that with autotune, you still have to sing good.
Yeah, it's just an effect on your voice. After
right,
the
like
fact.
you have to sing on key
it's
for
when
then
you can't
put
hear
you
the
off of
autotune.
key.
Right. So what really drives me crazy is Lil Dicky. I feel like every song that dude records, he's like, nobody else does funny rap. But I also feel like half of rap songs are just inherently funny because like a version of like rap is like Shakespeare. There's tragedies and comedies.
Right,
you know
but
what I'm
rap
saying?
songs are written with a certain degree of like you're trying to mean it. People don't do what Lil Dicky does for the most part. You got like him and Macklemore.
Yes, they do.
Bo Burnham's a comedian, not a musician. No, he's a comedian first.
If
he writes
goes-
like comedy.
Yeah. Here's my problem with Lil Dicky. Listen, I'm a big Lil Dicky fan. I love musical comedy in any way, whether it's a comedian doing music or
I wouldn't call Lil Dicky
musician
songs
doing comedy.
musical comedy.
They're trying to be.
I don't think they're trying to be.
He
I think they're
always
trying to be
puts
exactly
in-
what they are. I think that you are trying
What
to
are
put.
they?
I don't know what they are. I don't have a word for it. I think you're trying to put a label on it that is boxing them in somehow.
No, he says in Professional Rapper, nobody else is trying to do funny
And they're
type
not.
rap. But
Who?
they are. D12 put out My Band. That's a funny
Yeah,
song.
that was like, okay, that was one song. Have you heard other D12 songs?
Macklemore puts out funny
Have you
songs.
heard other D12 songs? No, but
it doesn't matter. They put out funny songs. Every rap artist, every rap group does funny
That's
songs.
just not true.
The point is, every Lil Dicky song has a hook or a tag that is pointless. At the beginning of Molly, he says, man, this is the softest thing I ever did. Like, shut up, man. Just get into the song. You don't have to clarify it. You don't need to qualify it. You don't need permission to write a soft song. Just write about how you miss your ex-girlfriend. It's fine. You got Brendan Urie on the freaking track. Just enjoy it. At the end of Freaky Friday, freaking Kendall Jenner, who can't sing, is at the end of the song. It's pointless. It's a dumb tag. The song was already funny. I laughed at I laughed at the punchline, and now you're adding this second stupid punchline. At the end of freaking Professional Rapper, he brings the secretary back in to give him head. It's not funny. The joke is that you're interviewing Snoop Dogg to be a rapper.
I'm with
all
that.
of these songs.
I understand what you're saying.
Are missing.
It goes too far. But the thing is, people still buy it.
People do still buy it, but he could be so much better. So many more people would buy it if he made his songs. They can still be raunchy. You know who does like, I don't know what's the right word. Hard pop. I don't know what the word is. You know, just funny stuff that's genuinely really good. It makes it on the radio because it doesn't have these dumb ending punchlines. Is the freaking Lonely Island? Andy Samberg, who can't sing to save his life, hits songs on the radio.
But people also don't take them seriously. That's a joke. People take Lil Dicky seriously,
but I don't take
you
Lil
might
Dicky
not.
seriously.
People do. He's a musician, not a comedian.
Let me pull up his top songs because there was another one that drove me crazy with him. Oh, with Earth. At the end of Earth, he's like, "Yeah, Ariana, everybody's visited Earth." Shut up, man. You had such a good thing going. You didn't need Kevin Hart to say, "I'm Kanye West." You could just leave Kevin Hart off the track. It doesn't add any value.
But it gets Kevin Hart in it.
It does. But like when I listen to the song and I'm like, oh, that was Kevin Hart's one line. If my thing is that I run a Kevin Hart fan account, I'm not like, wow, this is an amazing thing that Kevin was a part of. I'm just like, wow, this is really dumb.
That's the thing. If you're a Kevin Hart fan account, that's exactly what you're doing. That's what they do. That's what stans do. That's 100% what stans do, bud.
I don't think it is. I don't think that's what I do. They save that money. Why does he have Quan in there at all? That was a dumb verse.
It's not for you.
It is for me.
Not.
Lil Dicky went to VCU and has a degree in business. What? No, he went to VCU.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. Whatever. He went to college in Virginia.
It's literally like, if you search Lil Dicky, education, University of Richmond.
Oh, look at that. U of R, 2010. Fact of the matter is, the man is so close.
Here's the thing, though, is you're talking about it right now. I
know I'm talking about it right now.
Him win.
I would Venmo Lil Dicky $5 to fix these freaking songs. I would Venmo him $5. I'd say, listen, Lil Dicky, I will Venmo you $5 for each song that I can make one change to. I would say, listen, I think you've really got something going on here. I don't think Snoop would have hired you for rap. I really don't think it would have happened. I think you gave him a lot of money and you gave him a list of words to say, but I don't think he would have hired you for the rap game. Here's how I'm going to fix.
But I don't think he wants to be a comedian
because they're genuinely very good. I think if you take out what I've told you to take out in these songs, your songs are on the radio. You're 10
Freaky
times
Friday
as big
was
as
on the
you are
radio,
now.
bud.
Freaky Friday wasn't on the radio. And if it was, it didn't have the Kendall Jenner verse.
How do you know that?
I don't know, because I listened to pop radio and I wasn't on the radio.
I don't know what to tell you, man. He's got under your skin and that's what he's trying to do.
No, he's not. He's trying to write good, funny songs and he's missing punchlines because he thinks if he throws in a second punchline, it's going to be funnier. And the problem is, I love Lil Dicky's music. I love the songs. I love the verses. Truman is like a great 4-minute rap song and then 4 minutes of just rambling that's pointless. And the problem is, Ethan, that I want to like Lil Dicky more, but every time I save one of his songs, I get frustrated by one of these second punchlines and I remove it from my Spotify. So I know
the Kendall Jenner thing has never made me want to delete Freaky Friday from my library.
Oh, I think you stop before Ed Sheeran. I would take Ed Sheeran, DJ Khaled, and Kendall Jenner out of the song. I think they're pointless. The joke is the Chris Brown, Lil Dicky.
Just how songs end sometime, man.
It's not. I can't believe his producer was cool with it.
His producer for that was probably DJ Khaled.
His producer was like, oh my God, you got Kendall Jenner on the track?
Yeah,
Neat.
Kendall Jenner's Fortnite. Famous, man. Like, people, your wife loves Kendall Jenner. She watches the Fortnite. The Kardashians.
Taming of the Shrew.
What Shakespeare play is Professional Rapper by Lil Dicky?
Romeo and Juliet. I know very little about Shakespeare. I just want to be upfront about that. I'm a nerd. I like books. I like literature. I know less literature than I probably give an air off about. Or maybe I don't. Maybe people are like, no, Tyler, you're a freaking idiot. I know you've never read a book, but I can read.
Video for the official music video for Lil Dicky, Freaky Friday feature Chris Brown, has 553 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, he blew up on
553 million. Okay, let's see. Bo Burnham.
Bo. I love Bo Burnham. You want to talk about that's probably
so
my
Lil
favorite
Dicky has
comedian,
5 times as many YouTube subscribers as Bo Burnham, and like Art is Dead got 13 million views.
What? The full show.
21 million compared to 553 million.
Yeah, Bo Burnham's
but
so
he's
much
not
better.
taking it seriously, and he doesn't make as much money, and he doesn't have as many fans.
Bo Burnham definitely takes it seriously. He just doesn't have as good of a manager. Oh, correct. Yeah. But 8th grade is better than anything Lil Dicky will ever do.
I'm sure it will. If you're talking
life.
about objective, big picture kind of thing, but that doesn't matter. People are going to secure the bag however they can, man. I don't think Lil Dicky wants to be a comedian. I don't think he wants to be taken as a joke like Bo Burnham is. Because you are the minority here, but most people are going to look at a song by Bo Burnham and be like, that's my favorite song.
You mean, you talking about Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham is probably my favorite comedian.
But not a whole lot of people are going to look at any of the bits from Bo Burnham specials and be like, that's my favorite song.
He's got a few songs that I would put, maybe not in music is such a weird thing to put in like a top 10, right? It's just, I like a lot of music.
I would never never put Bo Burnham bits into like a playlist with other songs.
I've done it.
I would have to make like a playlist. I feel the same way about musical theater though.
No, musical theater I can only listen to really in context with musical theater.
That's how I feel about musical
I can
comedy.
go from show to show. I can go from show to show in musical theater, but I cannot go from
I mean, I very, very rarely just listen to like single jokes from a comedy special. Like even when they get
I
put
can
up
do
in
that
that
with
form,
Bo
but it's
Burnham.
like it's like if I was going through a playlist and like a Dane Cook bit just dropped itself in there, it'd be super weird. And it would just make me want to go listen to the whole thing because it all makes better sense in the context of like a thing. Like especially takes a bit like Kevin Hart, who's got the jokes that come back over and over and over again.
Right, he's made of callback
But it's like you
jokes.
listen to the last one when he's just, if you only hear the last bit of the thing and you're just like, oh man, the way my bank account's set up, and like everybody in the audience busts into laughing, you're like, what?
I don't get it.
I'm not saying Bo Burnham isn't great or successful or awesome. I'm just saying that like, I think that you're splitting hairs here.
I just feel like Lil Dickies' music could be so vastly improved with such minor changes.
No, but that's the thing is like, if you take those parts out, they're just kind of another song. He's got a thing that is working for him.
With the second
with all
punchline?
the whole aesthetic of his music is working for him because otherwise he would just be like another guy kind of doing this. I think if you're looking at Lil Dicky, it ain't broken, don't fix it. People stay fixing it when it isn't broken.
Here's the thing. Look, Snoop, he writes in his own track that has Snoop Dogg say something to the effect of, how do we know this is going to last? You haven't even sold an album yet. I think Lil Dicky doesn't
that song
last.
came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years.
That's plenty
no
of time, bud. Most musicians, like Camila Cabello, will not be a thing in 5 years. No.
You don't think so? Professional Rapper did come out 4 years ago.
I think people were like, at first they were like, I love it when you call me senor. And now everybody's like, if you ever play that song again, I'm going to stab your eyes out with a rake.
I don't know who Camila Cabello is.
She's the girl
I know
that sang
Shawn Mendes is involved.
Senorita. She's the girl that sang Havana.
Oh God, I do not like that
Exactly.
song. But Havana has 1.6 billion views on the old Joe
I'm
YouTube
sure it is,
box.
but where the Fortnite? Aside. Exactly.
I don't know. But you know what's crazy? I'm still listening to the Academy is. And you know what? Their music's falling apart. It's like the audio files don't work anymore. Something is corrupted.
Oh, that's
in the
not
music.
true. Man, I listened to their whole discography like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you get by sometimes some of the songs you put it on and you're like, yeah, this was
some of that stuff
not
I'm like,
the
this
best.
hasn't held up.
No,
But I mean, you take
this doesn't
anybody's
sound good
old
at all.
cat, like anybody who was writing like pop punk music in 2005, you take their whole catalog and you're like, ooh, you cannot say some of this stuff. It's even like, oh, hold on. There's a big band right now, the story so far. They have a song that they like can't play anymore. And it came out in like 2012. Just because it's just like, it was cool then. That was the thing we were doing. And now you just can't say that, dude.
I feel
like there's a lot of questionable
Sugar, we're going down.
lyrics.
Yeah, Sugar, we're going down. I feel like it's a song that you could make an argument for like, we're just not going to do this song anymore.
I don't know if they do or not, but you can't even understand what he's saying in Sugar We're Going Down.
But everybody knows the words.
Do they? Because a lot of people, because my band has covered this song plenty of times, and a lot of people get on the mic and make noises. It's like we're going, taco, 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 taco.
Taco, taco, taco,
Yo,
taco.
speaking of songs, let's talk about the soundtrack for this movie. The all covers soundtrack for this movie.
Can I tell you
Yeah.
a secret? When the first group of girls pull up and they're listening to Bubblegum Pop, and then Kat pulls up listening to
They're not
Reputation,
listening to Bubblegum Pop, they're
I was
listening to
like,
1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies.
yes. Listen, 1 week by the Bare Naked Ladies. The point is, when she
It's
pulls up
been
listening to
1 week
Reputation,
since you looked at me. I cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry.
she pulls up listening to Reputation. I was like, these songs are the same level of hard.
Oh yeah,
One of these
100%.
cars is
like,
not
in this day and age. Yeah, like those two things are completely equivalent.
right. You pull up next to somebody you listen to
You know why? You know why it is?
Because of
Shrek. Because inexplicably,
exactly what it
that
is.
song was in Shrek.
For the WWE scene where he takes on the King's Guard.
Yeah, it's got some great songs in it, but like most of them are just sung by somebody that didn't originally do the song.
The band is called Save Ferris. We're all over the Bacon and Eggs year 2 late
Save Ferris
stage
is a
year
real band,
1.
though.
It's a ska band with a rotating cast of members, like D12.
No, D12 was a group of people.
Was like a
They're all
specific
like
group?
named in that song too.
Eminem still does stuff with them, or at least he's credited to do so. Maybe some sort of contract thing. I don't know that he ever actually like shows up.
No, they were boys, man. One of those guys is dead.
He was the lead singer of the band.
Yeah,
that
Proof.
sucks.
Proof died,
Poor guy.
and then Eminem wrote the song "Like Toy Soldiers" about it, which is a just absolutely horrifyingly sad song.
I don't know if you ever listen to Eminem's music. That dude is the god.
Yeah, that
of
dude
rap.
made funny songs in earnest and became famous for it.
Yes, Real Slim Shady. That's a
but
funny
it's not
song.
comedy. It's a funny song. It's not comedy.
And you think-
whoa. I am not saying that Lil Dicky is anywhere close to being Eminem.
Let's see who's got more Instagram or YouTube subscribers.
I think
Eminem
I was gonna say, what's like the Eminem
39.3 million. Eminem Music has 39.3 million subscribers.
Okay, that's a lot more. It's like 33 million more than Lil Dicky.
Than Lil Dicky?
Man, I went to 10 Things I Hate About You freaking soundtrack, and what I got was a Spotify playlist that opened in the browser on Google Chrome, not on Spotify. What?
That's a criminal activity. You have to call the police when that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got some good songs in it. It's got that scene, man. That scene where Heath Ledger sings Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Yeah. Easily one of the greatest songs ever written.
Can I tell you something about Patrick Verona?
Can I tell you about something about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? Because they're great.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Every time I think about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, I think of what the pitch must have been like when Clint Eastwood walked into like a production office of a movie studio and was like, "Y'all know that musical Jersey Boys about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? I'm gonna make that into a really sad musical. I'm Clint Eastwood.
We'll get those kids off my lawn.
You might know me from the hit movie El Camino." Oh, sorry, not El Camino. That's the Breaking Bad movie. You might know me from the hit movie Gran Torino.
Have you seen El Camino yet? No, you know what's weird? I have no intention of watching it. I have 100%
intention of watching it. You know why? Because they haven't done anything bad ever. Better Call Saul was phenomenal.
I do think it's crazy that they were like, you know what? We're going to build another show in this universe, and it was good.
They're like, we're going to take Saul, the lawyer, Bob Odenkirk, and give him his own show. Everybody's like, what? And then it was great. Four seasons done. I love Vince Gilligan, dude. Love him. It's like, I wrote a story. It's now over. Thank you. I will take my next check, please.
And time for the Breaking Bad.
And he's done. Closes the book on that movie, or on that TV show, and Netflix is like, what up? Let's do a movie about Jesse. He's like, okay, book open. Dear Diary. Jesse Pinkman movie ?
And then his diary comes back and it says...
Yeah, and then Tom Riddle in the diary is like, yes, here's what happened to Jesse.
Yeah.
Because there's 100% like a black magic Horcrux writing this Fortnite in universe.
About crystal meth.
People, because I was on tour when it came out, people were coming up to me like, yo, you seen El Camino yet? I didn't even watch Breaking Bad in Fortnite. It's awesome.
How do you not watch Breaking Bad?
I don't know. It's on Netflix. The same studio that just made the movie.
Breaking Bad is the best show. Listen, I don't care about drugs. I don't care about like violence in movies and media and whatnot. Breaking Bad is straight up the best show. Is. I couldn't name 10 things I hate about.
I watched Breaking Bad last year from front to back for I think the third time. It definitely holds up.
I
finished watching it 364 days ago. Yep.
I remember
there's like reasons in there why I haven't watched El Camino yet. Sort of like an emotional time of year for me right now.
Yes,
and
I would
I don't think Jesse Pinkman being like, Mr. White, science, bitch, is going to help that much. I told you I don't know where he is.
Bryan Cranston, was he in Better Call Saul?
I have not seen the fourth season, but I can only imagine. It's a prequel. I can only imagine it ends with the moment that Walter White walks into his office.
Is that sort of how it's shaping up?
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. I haven't seen the fourth season. I didn't have like AMC Prime because like I finished watching Better Call Saul and it was like Better Call Saul season 4 premieres tomorrow and I was like frick. So I started watching Breaking Bad instead.
So
good. Yeah, you should watch Better Call Saul. I think they're about to put season 4 on Netflix.
I'm really excited for this Disney Plus thing.
I don't even know what's coming out. I truthfully have not looked and I don't intend to until it comes out.
The Disney Plus Twitter account is run by some of the best Twitter account people in the world. But straight up, they keep posting stuff on Twitter and being like, you won't believe that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs will be on Disney Plus. And I'm like, that's exactly what I thought was going to be on Disney Plus was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. When you come to me and you say you won't believe Breaking Bad is on Disney Plus, that's when I'll be like, whoa.
It's like Disney thinks we don't know what they own. Like it's private knowledge. It's like we're gonna make a Star Wars TV show. People are like, what?
Star Wars? How did you get the rights? Now, if Disney comes to me and they say you won't believe, but Deadpool and its sequel will be on Disney Plus, I'd be like, oh, I was unsure, but now I'm kind of glad.
It will.
I bet it will, and I probably will not revisit, but
I might watch Once Upon a Deadpool this Christmas just to get myself in the real holiday spirit. And also because as much as I didn't like Deadpool 2, what a genius way to remarket it.
I love Julian Dennison. I'm curious if my love for Julian Dennison is going to impact...
I'm really afraid that I'm going to hate Julian Dennison if I watch it again.
I'm afraid that I'm going to love the movie if I watch it again.
I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
Because I know we were in the minority not liking it.
I was lukewarm on the first one, to tell you the truth. I've maintained my lukewarm lukewarm status on the first one.
See, I really liked the first one. I thought it was really something special.
I thought it was
83% on Rotten
crude.
Tomatoes. That's a good score.
I thought they were both crude.
Crude is a good way
I am
to put
excited for the Robert Downey Jr. Tom Holland Doolittle movie.
I think I'm looking at 23% on Rotten
Almost certainly.
Tomatoes.
I haven't even watched the trailer yet. I just like the idea. I'm enjoying the premise right now, and I don't want anybody to take that away from me.
It'll be sub 30 for sure.
Definitely. 100%. Because people are just critics are going to look at it and be like, this isn't Fortnite, Iron Man. How dare you? He hasn't done anything else.
He was Sherlock Holmes, and those movies
was that
good.
during?
Benedict Cumberbatch,
I guess it was. God.
It was during.
Feels like Iron Man 1 came out yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was 2008.
Yesterday, all my Iron Man seems so far away.
You know what's weird is it does feel like Iron Man came out yesterday because I couldn't have possibly been 16, 13
Sherlock
years ago.
Holmes, 2009. Yeah, okay.
Because I wasn't. I was 16, 10 years ago. That's why I wasn't.
Sherlock Holmes came out in 2009. Those are decent movies. The problem is BBC Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch came out too close on the heels.
I literally just said that.
I was not listening. Yeah. I was looking up when Sherlock Holmes came out. But it's like, it's such a weird premise. They're like, what if we did Sherlock Holmes with karate and bullet time?
What if we did Sherlock Holmes and
like, I can only think Guy Ritchie walked into a production office just like, I don't know where Guy Ritchie's from. Hang on. England. Hello there, governor. We're gonna make a Sherlock Holmes movie, yeah? It's gonna have karate and bullet time. This is Sherlock Matrix. I don't know if you know me. I'm Guy Ritchie. I made Snatch.
Snatch. That's a poster you see in college freshman dorm.
Did you see my movie I made last year, Rock and Roller? People loved it. I'm Guy Ritchie.
People were pretty lukewarm.
I was pretty hot on Rock and Roller. I love Guy Ritchie movies. Oh, give me a good Jason Statham movie, man. Oh yes, I'm a sucker for a Jason Statham movie.
Is Jason Statham in this movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
He was in
Gerard
Lockstock.
Butler, Mark Strong, Tom Hardy, Idris Elba.
Tell you the truth. I don't think I've seen Rock and Roller. I think I mixed it up with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Came out in 1998, but I probably watched it around the same time the Rock and Roller was coming out because in 1998 I was 5.
Here's the fun fact about Rock and Roll Up. Box office 5.6.
Hey, box office on Lockstock isn't much better. It's 28.1. That's a classic. That's a classic right there.
Rock and Roller just got wrecked. 5.6 million. Jesus
But
Christ.
same guy made Snatch, man.
Anyway, I feel like I could have a religious devotion to this film. Same as I do your song, The Good Montana.
A religious devotion to what movie? I thought you were talking about Rock and
You.
Roller. I was like, okay, I don't think so. Listen to this. Jason Statham had to have written this sentence about himself. Jason Statham, an English actor and film producer, typecast as the anti-hero, he is well known for his action thriller roles portraying irredeemable and Machiavellian characters. That is just, like, nobody has ever thought about Niccolo Machiavelli and Jason Statham in the same thought, ever.
Did you know Mark Strong was in Sherlock Holmes?
I've seen Sherlock Holmes 2009 one time, and I think it was in theaters.
In theaters. It was at the
I don't
Regal.
think I've seen Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows, but I might have. I think we might have gone to both of them. Does Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows open with the Reichenbach file? I think it does. I'm pretty up on my Holmes, to tell you the truth. I did listen to a 120-hour-long audiobook of Sherlock Holmes one time. Yeah, it's good. It's good. He writes a lot like like J.R.R. Tolkien, but when he was supposed to. Like Arthur Conan Doyle wrote Sherlock Holmes in the time period that J.R.R. Tolkien wishes he was writing in, where like the language that Tolkien used was like normal, instead of him being like, it's the 1950s and I don't do drugs.
Was that an unusual situation? Oh my God, Ethan!
Is it really?
Time.
Jesus Christ! I'm not used to this new shorter block.
Show. I know. So, let's get to the big board. Is 10 Things I Hate About You better than its teen movie Shakespearean counterpart, She's the Man?
I haven't checked the big board in a minute.
It's
I know,
one
but where
movie.
did you put it?
It's one movie.
It's a new year.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, this is absolutely number one.
I think this is number one. And to be honest with you, I know we're going to cover a lot of great movies in the next 12 months, but to be honest with you, I foresee, this is a bold prediction year 2, this movie being in the top 25. Not 25 of the 52, 25%.
Maybe.
So
I was going to say,
13.
like, if you tell me to watch West Side Story next week, this probably won't last a single week at number one.
I like this better than West Side Story.
I think that West Side Story is probably going to have
Let me
some
be clear.
objective merits to it that I'm not going to be able to unwrap my head around.
I think this does. Let me be clear about 10 Things I Hate About You. If I know we don't do scales out of 10 because it's a pointless system, this hits an 8.5
That's
for me.
really high. This has some abysmal
it's
acting.
really good. It does. The sister really
You
drives
earlier
me crazy.
said I don't care about any storyline that isn't Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
but there's another half of the movie that goes on that you just didn't even like. Man, I'm going to be out of voice by the end of this episode. I'm going to have to go lay down and not speak for a whole day. I've done a lot of Jerry Seinfeld, but what about airplane food?
10 things I hate about breakfast. What do you got for a breakfast food here?
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever come up with a breakfast food in 2 years of doing the show. Every time you're like, you always have something great out of nowhere. You're like, yeah, man, this is like a Denny's Grand Slam and a cigarette. And you ask me every week, you're like, what's the breakfast food for this? And I'm like, the fortnight breakfast. I've forgotten everything I ever eat.
When you're on tour, do you eat breakfast?
Yeah, more than usual, I'll tell you the truth.
Because you wake up
No, I only woke up hungover once on this tour. There's a lot of nights where I was like, I'm going to have 5 Pabst Blue Ribbons, please. And I was like,
that's a lot. 5 PBRs.
Yeah, I can shut down 5 PBR tall boys like it's nothing.
I don't think that's something
I'm not
to brag
saying
about.
it is. I'm just telling you the PBR does not have the kind of effect on me that it used to. I'm convinced the alcohol in PBR just doesn't work as well as the alcohol in like a nice IPA.
Well, it's not as strong.
I could feel as buzzed off one decent IPA as I could off 5 PBR tall boys.
Can I tell you the truth about I had liquor drinks with dinner the other night.
That'll mess you right up.
That's a totally different way to experience life. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but liquor, it's so easy to take liquor too far.
So give me a cult followed breakfast food that's not Cookie Crisp.
Cult followed breakfast food. I don't know. Count Chocula.
What cult?
I have no idea. What is a cult followed breakfast food?
Jesus, Ethan, I don't know.
Is that like a thing that everybody likes, but I don't? That I can't really explain why other people like? Because if so, it's Eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict is so good. What do you mean you don't like Eggs Benedict?
I just don't like Eggs Benedict, dude. I don't like runny eggs.
I had poached eggs in my ramen.
I would rather die than eat a poached egg.
Oh my god.
It's a texture thing, man. I cannot bang with egg yolk. I don't like it.
I would rather eat a poached egg than die. I can tell you that much.
So would I. But like I'm not ever gonna go out and be like, oh,
the two choices.
Thank you, Waffle House. I'd like my eggs poached. A nice cheese pizza.
It's not a complicated process. You just put the egg in boiling water.
I'm sure you do. You know what else I don't want? A soft-boiled egg or an egg over easy at all. I don't want it. I don't like it.
You don't like egg? You don't like the runny? So when you get eggs on like a sausage, egg, and cheese, you don't
want
runny?
No, I want them to fry the living fortnight out of it.
Why? It takes away all the flavor, all the
It also takes away all of the grossness.
No, it's behind that same bowl with
like egg yolk is such an unappetizing texture. I don't.
Oh, it's so appetizing.
It's like oil and sandpaper. I don't know. It's just not good.
It's not like oil and sandpaper at all. It's not gritty in the slightest.
It's got stuff in it, man. It's like it feels like it has particulates that I don't want.
It's smooth. It is like notably.
Maybe that's it then. Maybe it's too smooth. I feel like I'm drinking like grease.
What do you think?
Like I feel like if I just downed a bottle of balsamic vinaigrette, that's probably how like an egg yolk would feel in my mouth.
I think I could drink.
I would 100%. I would vomit profusely.
I would vomit after 5 PBR tall boys, but a raw egg. Yeah, I could do.
Nope. That would touch my mouth and go right back out. There's no way. Not a chance, dude.
Really? Oh,
it's just a texture thing.
We hit Eggs Benedict a lot. You got to find a different. What about fried lox? Or not fried lox? What about
I don't eat a whole lot of salmon, so I don't know.
Not a big salmon guy. Did you have the salmon at my wedding? Oh, I know you're gonna say, well, there was a filet mignon station. Listen, Ethan, I had like 4 seconds to eat, and I had all 3 proteins. So don't tell me there was a filet mignon station.
I don't like salmon.
Oh, you're missing out. That salmon was the best.
I'm sure it was.
I dream about it every night. That was the best part of my wedding day. Was the salmon for sure. I can think of nothing else that was good that day.
Congratulations. Have fun with your lox. I don't care. If you there it is. It is a bagel with cream cheese and lox. That is a cult-following bagel. That is a thing that I do not believe anybody enjoys, and they are lying to themselves.
And that's how you feel about 10 things I hate about you?
No, you said it was a cult following.
But do you like it?
But a cult following means that there's like the norm is to not like it.
Is the norm to not like this movie?
No, but that's what a cult following is.
Right. The people that like it are
like Rocky Horror Picture Show is a cult classic because you don't like it. I don't know what this is for breakfast. You tell me what it is for breakfast.
This is a Denny's Grand Slam
and a cigarette. I'll tell you what. I went to a Denny's for the first time in probably 15 years on this tour. We went to a Denny's in Saratoga Springs, New York at probably 2:30 in the morning, and I got a Grand Slamwich, which is everything that's in a Grand Slam on a patty melt.
On a patty melt? Not like toast?
It was like Texas. It was like a melt. It didn't have a burger in it, but it was like everything you get. It's like a full omelet on Texas toast with like maple bacon aioli. It was awesome. I don't know why people hate Denny's.
I don't think anybody who's a cook at Denny's knows how to make an aioli. I was under the impression
that aioli means you chop a bunch of stuff up, put it in mayonnaise. I think
that's
what that means.
Because I don't know.
It's like you turn something from a solid into a sauce by, I believe, adding mayonnaise as your base component.
Good thing Chef Twitter doesn't follow us.
Probably get there's got to be one. It's like, excuse me, you make an aioli. You have to start with a roux and a reduction of your bacon. Anyway, it's time to wrap.
It is time to wrap. So the bacon, freak, man.
It's a Denny's Grand
so
Slamwich. That's what it is.
Okay,
You got to experience a Grand Slamwich.
It's got a lot of layers to it. It does have a lot of layers to it. There's no doubt about that. Nobody dies. That's part of a Denny's Grand Slamwich.
Very few people die to make a Denny's Grand Slamwich. Just some pigs.
Except for the pigs. Which, I mean, to be fair, thank you for listening, commenting, liking, and subscribing to whatever the thing we say is. I'm Tyler Carlin. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AmeriCarlin. He's Ethan Edgehill at Edgehill Photos and Wow Now, I think.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
That's still what it is. Go check my Instagram. It's popping right now. Do it.
It's popping.
I gained like 75 followers in the last 8 days. It's been good.
If you love bacon and eggs and you want more bacon and eggs, we have a second show. It's called That's What I'm Talking About. It's hosted by the absolutely hilarious Julia Stiles. With new episodes every Tuesday, Talking Tuesday. Listen as Julia listens.
You're gonna get an angry text about that. She'll have an angry text done before I say in her own ears that we're gonna get an angry text about that.
Oh, I know. She'll pause it and be like,
excuse me?
What? Because I finished the movie and I texted her and I was like, you don't just look like Julia Stiles in this movie. And she responded so mad. I'm sorry, Mary Clay. You're genuinely the best person, and I only say it because you are such a strong-willed, powerful,
a light in my
feminist
life.
woman, and I stan you to the ends of the earth. I'm so happy you're part of our lives. If you don't listen to That's What I'm Talking About, it's not too late to get started. There's a ton of backlog that you can listen to. If you've never read Lord of the Rings, she walks you right through all the episodes of what's happening in the book. And if you want to follow along, Lord of the Rings is like super cheap to acquire. You can get an Audible credit with audibletrial.com.
Boy, how do I not recommend listening to the Audible audiobooks written by Red Rob Inglis. He's bad.
Unless you want to fall
asleep.
Bad.
You will die if you drive and try to listen to it. Actually, he's probably not bad. It's probably like the invention of ASMR. But I definitely was like, man, I am bored. Bilbo Baggins was a hobbit, and he turned 11 this year, the same year as his nephew Frodo. People thought that was awfully queer, and Baggins' end. Anyway, thank you for joining on Patreon. This episode is sponsored by you. On Patreon, you turn the lights on, you keep the lights on, you make the lights keep working. You got us new microphones. You guys are the best ever. We love our patrons so much. Please join the Discord. Please listen to the Hash Browns. We're hilarious. We're funny. I promise we will talk to you. We love every single one of you, whether you're a patron or not, but especially if you're a patron.
And thank you to Vaishon and Andrew.
I've been Ethan Edgehill. He's been Tyler Carlin. Until next week, arrivederci.
And boys, you gotta grip it, then rip it.